sat there for a while and I was like, man, I've got it. No one's gonna come to help me. No one's gonna come to help me. It's me against me, period. And so I had to man up.
Your biggest enemy is you. My whole book is about you battling yourself. People don't understand it's you against you. The only person that gets in your way is you. Nobody else. It's you.
Courage is the key to life itself. There are a lot of people who are born in situations where they say, well, I'll never get out of this. So they won't. I say to people who say, well, I would like to have done so and so and so. So, well, you could have done it. So, well, I couldn't get out of here. Man, the bus runs every day.
The pressures, the situations that you can't buy, you have to earn. And keep on going. It's the fact that you had an idea, you believed in it, you put action to an idea, so a dream became a reality. That's as good as it gets, man. That's when you do it right. Otherwise, you sit back and you wonder, what if? What if is the worst question you can ever ask yourself. I failed. It's 1,000,000 times better than what if. Because the fucker got up and did something, showed up. 10 times more of the man that says, what if? What if, man?
If you could have what you needed and wanted, what would it be? What sort of friends would you have? What would your family relationships look like? How would you conduct yourself with your children? How would you educate yourself? You need to think through how it is that your life could be properly arranged if you had that ability. And then you can aim at that. And the funny thing is that if you do posit a goal of that sort and work towards it, you will move towards it. The goal will change because you'll learn things along the way.
You can go after whatever you want. You just cannot deny anyone else to go after whatever they want. Now, I had to sacrifice choice. I didn't get to choose which bagel I got. I got whatever I pulled out, but I didn't have to wait in line. So the point is you don't have to wait in line. You don't have to do it the way everybody else has done it. You can do it your way. You can break the rules. You just can't get in the way of somebody else getting what they want.
Why would you not go for it? Why would you not take a chance? At one point in time, you got to take a chance on you.
So genetically, there is something different about you. Weird, odd, great, whatever you want to put it, okay? And it's like something that's planted at your birth. It's what makes you different from everybody else. It's even what makes you different from your parents, right? I mean, you do inherit their genetics, but it's always different, okay? And so that's like a seed at your birth. If you cultivate that seed, if you cultivate your uniqueness, it gives you a purpose in life. It's why you are unique. You can look at it as if somebody or it's just nature intended it to be this way, but it's what makes you you. It's your energy, it's your character, it's your weirdness, it's your sense of humor. It's what draws you to certain things, what you hate about certain things. It's you.
You're screwed no matter what you do. There's no secure path forward. Give it up. It's risk everywhere. You think, oh my God, that's terrible. It's like, yes, except for two things. You can pick your risk. That's the first thing. So you get to pick your poison. That's something. And second, you're a lot tougher than you think. So even though there's risk everywhere, if you confront it forthrightly, what you'll find is that you can actually handle the risk. And that's the security.
Start with action and make small promises to yourself that you don't break. If you had a friend and every single time that you and your friend decided that you were going to go out for dinner, that friend either showed up 2 hours late or didn't show up at all, you would stop trusting that person. That is the relationship that you have with yourself. You need to be able to trust your own word. And a lot of us don't, because life is very convenient and it is easy for people to not stick to the promises that they set themselves, because our ability to be idealistic is always going to outstrip reality's ability to deliver that to us. As soon as you posit an ideal, you then begin to compare yourself to that ideal. And true hell is when the person that you are meets the person that you could have been.
You probably at one time or another, believe that you can be great at that. And then you work to get great at that, and you reach that greatness. But you don't mistakenly become great. And then you start to believe, oh man, I'm great at that. No, you believed that before, and you work to get that. So I always believe that, and I'll work every day to reach that.
if you could be everything you could be, you have to voluntarily take on the weight of the worst life has to offer, including the depths of malevolence itself. How are you going to adapt to a situation you won't even admit to?
Right.
Well, so how could it be otherwise than for you to become everything that you could be, you have to embrace all of the catastrophes that life has to offer. Like, how could it be other than that? You're going to hide? You're going to pretend?
Right.
How's that going to work? No one thinks that'll work.
All you want to do is live in the possibility and ignore the probability. Probability simply means to me, probably ain't gonna happen. That's what that means to me. Possibility is, it can happen. You just gotta have that, man.
Nothing but green lights, and we didn't have yellows and reds, things that make us pause, hardships, crises, times for introspection. Then what the hell would it all be for? We need the yellows and the reds. That's how we evolve. That's how hopefully there's some ascension to our being. That's how we give some credit to time and growing older. If we were the same person today that we were 20 years ago, then what the hell are we doing?
People want to get to feel whatever success is for them. They want to feel that. So I can't write it here at David Goggins Successful. I must write at David Goggins, man, I don't feel good about myself. And every day I go through that journey. So that's where it comes from. It comes from scratch. All that shit, all my knowledge comes from going back to where the real growth doesn't happen. When you make it so far in life, you make it so high up, whatever it is, whatever you're trying to be, there's no more growth. There's small growth.
I say chase your dreams, man. Do that thing, man, that keeps you up at night. That thing that bothers you, man, that makes you trip. You can't quit thinking about it. You always, that thing, man, that you wake up in the middle of the night, you got a new idea. That's what you got to chase. Because anything else, it's gonna disappoint you. You're gonna forever be sad, man. If you don't chase that dream, you're gonna forever be miserable, man.
What if it's an ongoing debate inside yourself that you can never come to conclusion on? I get up and fail, at least I know. Otherwise, what if every minute of every day for your existence, battling inside your head, trying to turn off the voices, but you can't. And you can't do anything about it because the opportunities, the window of opportunity is closed. There's nothing you can do but sit back and wonder, what if? Nope, don't like that, man. I'd much rather take the gamble and lose.
What makes it hard is your lack of belief that it can happen for you. The fact of it is, though, it's very doable. See, but you got to change, though. If you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. So if you're at a place in your life and you ain't happy with it, you have to change some things. But you have to make a conscientious decision that you're going to change.
When you stop and think about all the different times that you did have to reboot and how you found like new goals and you found new inspiration and you fired up a new discipline and you became stronger and harder and you got... One of the things that people always look for in life, they look for a point where they can rest.
Yes, sir.
Oh, I'm gonna retire. You know, like people love that expression, the golden years. They love that expression.
Yes.
You know, they love the idea of a struggle as long as it ends, and then when it ends, they're gonna have a nice, comfortable spot.
It must end.
Yeah.
You need to put yourself in uncomfortable situations and uncomfortable scenarios, okay? If you do easy things, you will have a hard life. If you do hard things, you will have an easy life. Let me say it again. If you do easy things, you will have a hard life. If you do hard things, you will have an easy life. As a man, you have to understand that we as men, we do better in environments where we are uncomfortable, okay? You put pressure on a rock, it turns into a diamond. Men do better in environments where we are uncomfortable, okay? What I'm saying is, the more you stay uncomfortable as a man, the more success you will have.
Heroes using pain and villains being used by it. And so one of the things for people who are not where they want to be is that they have pain.
like oodles of pain. And I remember when I was starting out, I was looking for passion. I was looking for purpose. I was like, I just want to find something that I'm motivated by. But it's the cat and the cheese. It's like we're looking for cheese, but we have all these cat behind us, and all we have to do is look and remember that they're behind us and chasing us. And so if you have the cat and you're staying in your current situation, you're being used by the cat.
The individuals that don't pursue their own dreams are not going to push you to pursue yours. You have a dark side that refuses to be taught to be good. Every individual in this room has a dark side. This is about what lights your own fire, what's unique to you, what gets things done when nothing else will. It's about the individual that's been raised either in a broken home or by a single parent or no parent, and they handle the situation two ways. One uses it as an excuse for the rest of their life, and you got the other individual that says, watch me.
The only insults that hurt are the ones we believe. Next time someone insults you, remember, they're going to die. Everyone will forget about them. And if no one will remember them, then you might as well forget about them now. They are irrelevant. Your dream, your actions, your outcomes.
And even if you're not where you want to be in life and you're grinding and you're on that hustle.
And there's a lot of people like
that, right? I get it. Keep grinding, but also appreciate it. Appreciate that hustle. Appreciate this thing. Appreciate this beautiful, chaotic, unknown existence you're in.
Thing we call life.
Yeah, that you don't know what the gonna happen. It's open-ended. It's wide. It's a complete open loop experience. You don't know what the fuck is coming next, and you're just trying to enjoy the ride.
But hey, man, you can do this. This is all me. Some people know, where's this cold man come from? I'm not trying to be cold. It's the reality of my life. It's the reality of a lot of people's lives. And so, yeah, that had to happen for me to be haunted, to pull out, to extract the guy at the end of the day. That haunting is something that's still there today. Because no matter how much you improve, no matter how much you change who you are, it's not permanent.
You gotta be willing to do the work. You can speak about it all day. The easiest thing in the world to do is to complain, blame, and quit and settle. That's the easiest thing in the world to do. But it takes real work to deconstruct and to reconstruct the thought process and the mindset of an individual when they're trying to change something. That's why I always say to people, what's more important, what we acquire or who we become, right? What's more important, what we acquire or who we become? Materialistic, superficial, it's cool. But the people that we become, the thoughts we think, the words we speak, that's something that's going to travel with us forever.
When I'm putting that work in and doing the reps, like that's when I'm actually my most in flow and enjoying myself the most. And so it's actually a lie that I've been telling myself that like once the presentation goes well, I'll feel good. Because in some ways now I feel like when the presentation happens, I'll be disappointed because I won't get to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I'll have to find something else to pick as a target so that I can get back into my Rocky cutscene. And so I think that has taken some time, and I've gotten better at it. I really do think I've gotten a lot better at it. At least recognizing, because the more times I've had W's and then realized that right afterwards I felt nothing, I had to think back of like, what are the things that I enjoyed most in my life? And it's always in pursuit.
We follow the same heart, we follow the same hustle, but sometimes things are different. And you just gotta master whatever it is you're doing. Take a few losses that come with the game, as long as you finish on top. That's the only thing that counts.
Your time is limited, so don't waste it living someone else's life. Don't be trapped by dogma, which is living with the results of other people's thinking. Don't let the noise of others' opinions drown out your own inner voice. And most important, have the courage to follow your heart and intuition. They somehow already know what you truly want to become. Everything else is secondary.
I'm like, go yourself, dude. If you don't believe it, go ahead. But I don't talk about a lot because I know what I've done. And I know what the mind can do and where it can take you. I've experienced it over and over. And my mom has seen it over and over and over again, to the point where it's almost like I can't even believe sometimes, but I'm willing to go there. I'm willing to push myself to that limit and see what happens.
Structure that you use to orient yourself in your life is dependent on your values. And you might say, well, if you don't value human life, let's say, above all, well, then you don't value yourself above all. You value something else above that. You're going to pay for that in one way or another. Now, you might say, well, that's a price that I think is worth paying, or I don't think that human beings should be put on the top. You know, that's your prerogative. But you will absolutely 100% pay in full for everything that you've done and for everything that you haven't done. I mean, how can it be otherwise?
Yeah.
You know, it's like, what are you going to do? Reality isn't going to make itself manifest because of your whim. That's not going to happen. And, you know, you can think about that religiously or not. There's no escaping from what is.
What's my reason for the book? My reason for the book is to make people better. My reason for the book is to make people understand, yo, we all are great. We all should think that we're great. There's no reason for you to not think that you're great. If you don't think you're great, ask yourself why. Why don't you think the highest of yourself? When you do, people have no choice but to follow suit. You have no choice but to follow suit.
Is that so many people die with untapped potential because they think that someone else is better than them. And they were born, you know, not with the greatest tools. You don't need shit. You need the ability to grind your ass into a fine fucking powder. And when you're in that fine powder, find a way to build that fucker back up repeatedly. And it's possible.
Superior, man. It's within you. It's within every single one of us. And the people that have risen to that level were no different than any one of us. It's just they believed it and they were willing to work their fucking ass off to get it. It wasn't about the potential. It wasn't about the genetics. It was about the perseverance. And it wasn't about being the hardest fucking worker in the room. That's what got them there. And it didn't happen overnight. They got knocked down more than they ever stood up. But they kept going and kept going and kept going and kept going, because what else is the alternative? To be average again. That sucks, man. And it really sucks when you've tasted success at one point in your life.
Something I did wrong in my life was I tried for so many years to please people. And I did it at the expense of myself. I was leaving a lot in the tank. And when you do that, you stop living.
The pain of the current reality becomes greater than the fear of change. That's when we change. So like when the pain becomes so intense that it's greater than the fear that you have of the unknown, then you'll go into the unknown. You can stand there at the door looking at this abyss, but when it becomes so painful that you walk into that, that's when the change happens.